Hey guys, it's Adrian or BHA here bringing you a new video. So the great folks over at Aosu sent me over another one of their awesome new cameras to show you guys. Now this one I couldn't even find listed on their website, but this is the Security Cam D1 SE. Now this thing's pretty cool. Now this is not a solar camera like we've done in the past. This one actually will have to be plugged in, but it is wireless. As long as you have access to power, maybe underneath your house for like Christmas lights, you should be able to plug this camera in and hit that wireless network in your house, and you should be good to go. This is 5 megapixel camera, so roughly 3K video quality. This thing looks pretty awesome. And you're able to pick this thing up for less than 70 bucks on Amazon on the Aosu storefront. So you're definitely going to want to check that out as well. But like I said, you get 5 megapixels, 400 lumen spotlights. Nighttime, you definitely got that security deterrent with that spotlight there. It looks pretty awesome. This also has a driveway protection feature as well, so it will monitor your driveway, and if your car is being tampered with, it will send you an alert. That thing's pretty cool. Nonetheless, we're going to dive right in and see what we can do with it. Let's get started. So let's get this thing opened up here. Now this is the Security Cam D1 SE. Now we've looked at several from their Solar Cam series, but not the Security Cam series. So this one's a new one. So this one, of course, is not solar powered, so you will have to plug it straight in. But they got specs on the outside of the box here. But if we go ahead and open this thing up, right there on the top, we got window stickers for the front windows of your house. Just a little added security there, as well as instructions for getting it set up in the app. And then we got the camera itself. Now this is a fully PTZ camera. It's pretty heavy duty. It's got a nice little weight to it. And on the bottom there is the SD card slot and kind of the sync button or setup button maybe. All that's left in the box here is just this little box. Let's see what's inside it. So we got the power adapter for powering the camera. We got a mounting bracket and mounting screws. And that's everything that comes with this camera, so not a whole lot. Let's go ahead and move on to the next step and we'll get this thing installed. Installing this camera is pretty simple. There's not a whole lot to it. So we're going to be installing it on my trusty camera testing post on the front side of my house. And you can see it here, and you can even get a nice view of our yard work that we're currently doing, getting the flower beds all ready. But all we need to do is add the mounting bracket first. Just basically screw that in place. And then once we do that, then we can just attach the camera and plug it in. And once all that's done, we are good to go and getting it added into the app. So let's do just that. We are going to move on to the next section and get the camera added into the Aosu app on my phone. So here we are in the app. And as I already said, it's really easy to get devices added. So we'll click on Add Device here. And it immediately wants us to scan the QR code on the top of the camera. Now it was probably easier for me to scan it before I installed the camera, but that's okay. We can hold the phone up there and we should be able to get it to scan. And success! We got it scanned and now it wants us to power on the camera. So I already have it plugged in, so we can just hit continue here. It wants us to hold down the reset button on the bottom of the camera until we hear it beep. This puts it in pairing mode. Once we have done that, then we are ready to put in our Wi-Fi information. Now remember, this only supports 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi. We can go ahead and add in our SSID and password here, and then we'll hit continue. And at this point, we are just waiting for it to complete the connection, and boom. Now we can give it a name if we want. I'm just going to call it front door since that's about its location. We can skip through the cloud stuff, and it looks like it has a firmware update. So we can go ahead and apply that here, and I'll just kind of fast forward through that. But we have the camera installed, and it's added into the Aosu app. Let's move on to the next section, and I'll go over the config options available to us from the app. So let's go through the config here. On the device screen, we can see the camera here. There are a few buttons here. So we got the snooze button, which is to silence notifications if we needed to. We can access events for that camera, either cloud-based if you're paying for it, or local if you have an SD card in there. We can turn the light on here right from this screen as well. But if we click on the camera, of course we get the live stream. You have the PTZ controls right there, kind of in the middle. Now just under the camera, there's a few buttons there. So we have a patrolling button, or I think Aosu calls it a cruise. We got the stream quality button, which changes between UHD and SD. We have the recording and snapshot buttons as well. And then on the end is the sound button. So if you want to hear what's going on the camera or not. Now along the very bottom there are a few more buttons, so we can turn the light on and off. We got the tone and alert buttons with that two-way talk button right there in the middle. And then in the far corner there is a more button with a few more options. So we got voice alerts, we can enable disable tracking if we wanted to. We can also calibrate the PTZ if we need to, as well as a patrolling button, or like I said, cruise button there as well. My favorite feature on the Aosu devices is always their panoramic image, where you can touch anywhere on that image and the camera will move to that location. I think that is so cool. Probably my favorite feature. But if we hit the settings up in the top corner there, we can change the name if we want to. We can turn the camera off altogether. In the AI surveillance section is where we can look at the settings for all of your AI tracking. So you got human detection, you got intrusion, you got vehicle detection, parking guard, which is kind of cool because you can have it monitor your driveway and it will alert you if someone is accessing the cars in your driveway. Lawn surveillance, so it will keep an eye on your whole yard, and also pet detection as well. Some of these come enabled by default and others do not, so you'll just kind of have to play around with the various options there. Under surveillance settings is where we can disable motion detection altogether if we wanted to. Not sure why you'd want to do that, but you certainly can. You also have the option to turn off tracking, so if you don't want the camera to follow people around, if it catches someone on the camera, then you can certainly disable that as well. Down at the bottom is where you can adjust the sensitivity, so I'm going to leave it the default for now. It seems to be doing pretty well at the moment. Auto cruise, we kind of talked about that earlier. It's basically the patrolling feature of the camera. So you can have it patrol only at certain times if you want. Under notification settings is where you can enable notifications or disable them. Let's see, you can go with immediate notifications or more intelligent ones. By default, it is set to immediate. If you switch to intelligent mode, then you can say what types of notifications you want to receive, which is kind of nice. Cloud recording and local recording mode are for the various types of recording you might want to do, depending on whether or not you're paying for the cloud service or if you have a SD card installed into the camera. Remember, this will support up to 128 gig SD card. Video audio is where we can choose the streaming and recording quality, as well as choose what type of nighttime mode we want to use. I like to leave mine on automatic. It does a pretty good job of switching between color, night vision, and black and white. Down towards the bottom, we can make adjustments to the two-way talk speaker volume and decide if we want to record audio or not, like all together. Light settings is where we can tell it how long we want it to wait when the lights come on from like motion detection before shutting off. So by default, it's about 30 seconds. We can also adjust the brightness if we wanted to. If you only wanted to use this camera at certain times of the day, you can schedule sleep, where basically it will shut off during the day maybe and only come on at night, depending on how you want to set it up. We have the LED status indicator, so we can turn that off if you want to make this camera a little bit more hidden. And then of course you have your Google and Alexa configurations as well. Down towards the bottom we have the device information section if you needed to get info on the device. We can check for firmware updates if we needed to, which we've already done, so we should be good there. That's pretty much everything you can do in the app for this device. Let's go ahead and move on to the last section. I'll show you some footage from the camera and I'll give you my final thoughts. Okay, so let's start off with some footage from the camera here. So we got some nighttime footage, and you can see that color night vision looks pretty good. I mean, not bad at all. The light, of course, is attracting the bugs. That's obviously pretty common, but if we turn off the light, you can see where the IR night vision kicks in, and again, not a bad image for night. I mean, this is 3K camera quality, and I think it looks really good. We can look at some daytime footage here as well. And this picture is like crazy crisp, very clear. It looks really good. So buying this thing from Amazon, there's currently a coupon right now that puts this thing under 60 bucks, which is a crazy good deal. I mean, if you consider this is a fully PTZ 5 megapixel 3K camera running on 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi. And then to top it off, you're using the Aosu app, which has all kinds of cool features, including the parking guard, which monitors your driveway and alerts you to anything at your vehicles. I love it. I wish that the Aosu cameras would work with Home Assistant, or at least I wish the cameras supported RTSP or OnVIF, so that you could pull that camera feed into Home Assistant. But it does have an SD card slot that will hold up to 128 gigs SD card for local storage, which is pretty good. Should last a long time. And then of course you have the ability to purchase cloud storage if you want to go that route as well. I will have links to Aosu's website as well as their Amazon storefront in the description below. If you aren't interested in this particular camera, head over there and see what deals they currently have running. I want to thank everybody for donating to my Buy Me a Coffee link. Every little bit helps. If you haven't had a chance, head over to my spring merchandise page and check out all of the Burns home automation merchandise. And if you're looking for the latest smart home gear, you're going to want to check out Smonet. I'll have a link in the description below. Head over there and see what deals they currently have running. If you're looking for the latest smart window treatment, you're going to want to check out Smartwings. I'll have a link in the description below for them as well. Head over there and see what deals they currently have running. And if you're looking for SIM cards for all of your IoT devices that need to be on 4G, you're going to want to check out Eiotclub. I'll have a link in the description below. Head over there and see what specials they're running currently on their packages. If you're interested in buying and selling stock or maybe cryptocurrency, you're going to want to check out Robinhood. I'll have a link in the description below for them as well. If you sign up with that link, you and I both will get a free share of stock. It's a win-win for both of us. If you liked the video, please subscribe to my channel. If you have any questions or comments, hit me up in the comments below. As always, if there are any videos out there that you would like to see that I don't already have out there, let me know in the comments as well. See if I can't get something put together for you guys. Otherwise, I'll see you guys around.